Hello, Edmonton. It is so good to see, well, don't see you, but you see me here, and I'm in Calgary and wanted to do this Mentoring Plus. Thanks to Dan McCosh, Richard Mowry, and everybody that was helping out to put this together because I couldn't make it to Edmonton. Unfortunately, I'm having to be at a memorial tomorrow afternoon, and I'm able to do it this way. Thank gosh for technology, but it can be a challenge. But I had good mentors, and that's what it's all about, is having those people that guide you. Now we're going to be talking about the 4 modules, and this manual, the 4 modules were developed actually in February 2012, and it took a team of people to put this all together. We had Nandini Venkatesan, Marvin Henry, Darlene Davies, also Bob and Peggy Cabanas, and myself. Without them, we wouldn't have had this program put together. And the reason that we have mentoring is because it's been something that has been needed for so many years in Toastmasters. And mentoring is a passion of mine. I know the value of mentoring. I have mentors today, and thank goodness, because without them, I would have more challenges and struggles. And you always need to bounce an idea off. And that's what I really appreciate mentors. And they tell me what their thoughts are of what I'm thinking and what I could do different. So mentoring is huge. And the Mentoring Plus is something different that we're adding to mentoring, and we will get to that down the road here. Now, you're wondering where to get a hold of the modules is on our D42 website. I also understand that they're going to put it on the District 99 website as well. So please ask them for that link. But here right now, if you needed to get the link, the 4 modules, this is where you can get it. So I'm going to recap the mentoring modules before I go into the Mentoring Plus. We will have, actually, there's going to be several modules. Module 1, promoting vision of a club mentoring program. We'll talk about what is the vision for your club. And we want you to have your club, and your style, your environment. These are going to be guides for you and tips and ideas of experiences and some things that we have found that have worked. You put it into your program, but make sure your club is who you are. Implementing the program. That is the other thing, is how do I implement the program? Once you start implementing it, you will have ideas of how to do this, and we're going to be doing that. Training the mentors and mentees. What are the responsibilities of everybody? And there's several mentors that you can put into your program as well. Building the best mentoring relationships. I was very fortunate to have great mentors and the relationships that I had, especially our team and the people that I mentioned. And I've had so many over the years, and I'm grateful for all of them. And those relationships are still today, and we help each other out because everybody has their strengths, and we want to really put those to work. And then now, Mentoring Plus, establishing members in teams. So we will get to that in a few minutes. But first, let's talk about Module 1 and promoting the vision of the club mentoring program. Why is mentoring so important? A survey of businesses in Manitoba was done, and there were several areas that they felt that it was so important for them, for individuals, to have them achieve goals faster and stay longer in the organization, and so that the organization thrives. This is what they found, is new leaders. They're today in Toastmasters in the world. We need leaders. Leaders are so important. They have innovation, ideas, but also how to delegate and make things happen. And how do we work as a team and everybody listening to each other? Higher retention. We've heard over the years, retention was one of the difficult things. It was a big concern throughout Toastmasters because between 1/3 and 2/3 of the club members may not be there the next year. And we heard that often, and some of our own clubs that I've been involved were struggling, but we had to figure out what can we do. Well, mentoring was it. And then productivity. This was so important. We want individuals doing speeches and doing their manuals. And soon we're going to have the new program, Pathways. But we want everybody engaged and participating and getting the value out of the program that is offered to us. It's made a huge difference to so many people. I know it's made a huge difference for me as a person in business. I give Toastmasters the credit for this, that I was able to reflect back on my journey into Toastmasters, and I was very fortunate to be one of your district governors. Now that's not what it is today, it's district directors today. I'm grateful for that opportunity. I had mentors, I had people supporting me, I had people on teams and committees, and that's what made a difference for our club, for our district to be distinguished after 6 years. And it was all teamwork, and we need the leaders to keep going and make this happen. And relationships, that was the other thing. We build relationships. I'm very fortunate. I still have a lot of the relationships that I've had for years, and I can still go back to them and ask them questions and help. Just like this, putting this program together, it was a team of people that helped me, and also for this videoing to happen. Believe me, you wouldn't want me to do the technology in this. It would have been a whole different game. So this is making a difference. Module 2, implementing the program. On your mark, get set to go. Getting started. So you appoint a mentoring program coordinator. And the mentoring program coordinator is planning and implementing and ongoing maintenance of the program. I've been very fortunate to be one of the mentoring coordinators for our club in Calgary. And just making sure that when members come in and they want joining your club, that you've got a mentor who's going to be a mentor for them, because that's when their eyes and everything perks up. They're excited that they have somebody to help them and that they're not alone. And form a core team of people. You have your VP of Education and also your VP of Membership. They're now part of your team, because membership is having new members join and they can talk about the mentoring. And the VP of Education is planning education and organizing individuals into the program and encourage them to participate and be on the schedule to speak or do a leadership role. And then design a program for your club. And I want to say again, it's your club. What is it that your needs are? And what is it you want to accomplish? And it's got the tips and ideas in there. If you're struggling to have members stay, well, this is a stepping stone for you. And you can make this happen in your club. Set priorities based on the vision you have for your club. Decide what the program is. Sit down and pull it together, and you will see that in the manuals in Module 2. And it's got tips and ideas for you to follow and decide how they're going to evaluate the results of your program. How is it working for you? Is there things that you needed to tweak? And that's what happens is when you start doing changing things and making things even better, it's exciting and you see the growth in your members, and that's really what we want. And then develop a way to track your results. And we also have lots of forms in the modules, and you can track how you're doing and progressing. Have conversations, and maybe in one of your meetings, just update. This is how many members we have. Everybody has mentors, and this is, people are doing speeches. Do that assessment and have an eye on what's happening in your club. Now, there is implementing the program is 3 phases of implementation. With that implementation, you establish is the new member orientations, is having orientations with your new members. And you can do that, whether it's maybe an education, and you can do an education in a club meeting, and it's a speech or for someone to present and orientate all our new members at once. And having that there because they need to understand the program and we need to guide them there. The other thing is to identify who are your experienced mentors, who are the most recent members that have been in the club 2 to 3 months, and then there's brand new members. But picking out your experienced mentors and talking to them and asking them questions. How many individuals can you support at this time? And how will you do it? And be that support to them so that you can figure out exactly how many an individual. So an experienced mentor may choose, I can have 2. I can certainly support 2 at this time. And put those together, and you will see down in Mentoring Plus how we can even build on that. So matching, the 2 things that you can do in matching is this. 1, you can ask the new person that wants a mentor, and they've been at the club and they've observed individuals. So they may have somebody that they feel that would fit for them. And you can ask them, do you have someone in mind that you would like to be your mentor? And they will tell you who that mentor is. But they may say, no, I really don't. And they leave it up to you to match them. And again, you have a pulse on how many experienced, what the skill sets are or what the specialties are. And you can match that person. And it's also checking with that new person, what is it that they're looking for? And maybe there's specific things. Work today is offering lots of opportunities for people to speak, but individuals are a little nervous to step up into those roles. And this is maybe something that they have that they need right away, help to do a presentation. So it's having those conversations and who is the best match. And once the mentee is going to agree with that person, you just record that. Training the mentors and mentees. And there's 6 expectations and responsibilities in this mentors and mentees. And you will see that with those expectations and responsibilities, it makes it even easier because now you've got several people involved doing mentoring roles. It isn't just one person. Yes, what I was saying was belief. And we need to believe in the new person so that they build their confidence and help them through it. So belief is that, first of all, is build the relationships. So it's about giving that evaluation back and giving great feedback to them and helping them and telling them where they're doing well and what things they could improve on and how to do it. We really need to listen to that individual, that new member. what is the reason you've joined Toastmasters? That is usually the first question that I ask. And believing and understanding where they're coming from. And they said, you know, I've been asked to do presentations at work and I am so nervous. I don't feel confident and I've got to get over that. I need that help. And so it's helping them to know what to do. And then it's the interaction, asking insightful questions. Insightful question could be, what is it that you feel you need to focus on right now that would make a difference for your confidence? And let them answer that question. And they may say, well, if I can just feel more comfortable getting up and just being able to be myself and not be stressed, that would be a huge piece for to help me. So that is the beginning, is to understand where they're at and helping them to guide and giving them those few tips. And you may say, well, listen, why don't you do one of the small roles like timer, where you have to stand up and just do that role of telling the times of everybody what they've done. And that can be a beginning for the individual. And then it's a smaller step instead of a big, huge step. And then follow up. F is for follow up. And when you follow up, you will have that asking, how did you feel about that speech? What do you think you could do different? And what did you do well? And lots of times they may even struggle of what to do well. So then there's the meeting mentor. And this is done within the meeting time of your club meeting. The meeting mentor is, can be a person that has been in the club maybe a couple of weeks and has been doing timing. And what that can do is that individual can help the next new person that joins, and they can sit down beside them and go through what they do as far as timing. This makes a huge difference because somebody that's just experienced it, it makes a difference because they can relate so much quicker to understanding the challenges and the ups and downs. And it's important that we can have everybody involved in mentoring and learning how to mentor. So this is one step to go. The meeting mentor. The specialty mentor is a one-time support, and it's working on a specific focus. In our club, we have an individual where he's the mentor when individuals are preparing for speech contests, and he works with them individually on their speech and helping them with it. This is what role he feels he can contribute to the mentoring. He wants to help how to do that specific. He's been in the contest and he has tips and ideas and things to work on and what would make it a strong message and all those pieces. And it's so important that we have a specialty mentor. And who are they? Maybe it's table topics. Maybe it's an evaluator. You can pick and choose those. Then we have the mentee and to learn. This is your role, you as a new member and being a mentee. L is for listen. Listen with the openness that you're willing to hear some feedback. Again, it's always your choice of whether you take that information. Maybe it isn't quite a fit, but that's something that you can discuss with your mentor and just say, you know, this is what I found. I like that little piece that you mentioned, and I can do this, but I need to do this. And you know what? They're going to listen to you because you know what feels more comfortable for you. Be eager to get in there and learn and be part of the whole process. I was so grateful for our mentors over the years. And I was eager to learn from those. I remember watching my mentor, and he was in the humorous contest. And I went to the contest and watched him do the speeches. And I thought, wow, look how he made that whole thing a lot more humorous and exciting. And I thought, I want to be like him. Well, I couldn't be like him. Just be yourself. But what are those ideas that you can learn from him of how he made the humor work in his speeches? Then action. That's up to us. Are we into action? Get on your mark, get set, go. We've got to try it out. Toastmasters is the best place to learn and try and practice, and so that you're ready for when you go out in to do your presentations at work or other venues. And I know that there's lots of people practicing and preparing to be keynote speakers. And this is the place to practice and get that fabulous feedback that we all can provide, because we're your audience and we can give you those tips and ideas. And then it's respond. Respond with honesty of what you feel and what you feel is going to make a difference for you, and be honest with the mentor, because we're thinking of you, but if we don't understand some of the things that are maybe challenging or you need clarity, you need to be honest with them. My mentees are honest with me. They said, Mona, I don't feel that this is going to work, and I'll tell you why. So I listen to them, and then we talk about it and have those conversations. But if you don't say that, then they won't know. Never give up. Yes, there is challenges. You bet there is. But never give up. I wouldn't be where I am today again without that guidance and support and practicing and being part of this. It makes a huge difference. And if I'd given up, I think that would have made a difference to where I am today in business and speaking. And I'm grateful for this. So yes, there's times that you feel, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And that's where the mentor comes in and says, you know what? It's tough, but you know what? You can do it. I remember mentoring my very first person. That was an experience, and she'd asked me, would you be my mentor? I was honored. I was nervous. I wasn't sure how to mentor, but I did my very best to help, and I focused on what she needed. And her being very cautious about doing that first speech. And then there was the middle of the 5 speeches in, and she was so frustrated with her speech, she was ready to quit. Well, we were fortunate enough to have that conversation with her and discuss with her about what she was feeling and where she was at. And then when she did her 10th speech, she grabbed a piece of paper and she crumpled it up and threw it away and spoke and told about her journey. It just hits you right in the heart, and that you had a little part of just supporting her, especially when those tough times didn't work out so well, but they did because you had a mentor. Then there's the mentor coach. We need a mentor coach because some of our coaches or our mentors are needing that go-to person themselves. There's maybe some things that they're not sure about how to handle. There's maybe some challenges that they're facing. They need someone to talk to. So who is that coach? Who can provide the support to the mentors? Maybe that's an experienced mentor, that's a role that they would like to do. I'll be that mentor coach, and that is another specialty area. And they can do the coaching and help the individuals get through the challenges, work through some ideas. We all need go-to people. So have a mentor coach. The mentoring program coordinator. That's a role that I'm fulfilling in our club. And one of it is to, when new members sign up, we have to go to them and say, we have a mentoring program. Would you like to participate? I haven't had anybody say no to me yet. And that means that they're looking for that support and they like to feel that they're not alone on this journey or to figure out everything. We've got 2 manuals, and those 2 manuals have a lot of information in them, and we need to go through it bit by bit. And the thing is, we want to make sure that they're getting some guides and tips, small steps, goals that they can set. And so that is not overwhelming, and putting them into the teams, as I'm going to be talking to you in a few minutes, but also is just having that mentor give those guides and those tips and the steps and how they get started in the whole process. And then it's assigning the mentors and the mentees and organizing and putting that together. And again, as I will mention and talk to you in a few minutes, is about the teams and how we put the teams together. And it's all implementation, making sure that it's working, everybody knows who's mentoring who, and keeping that organized. And we have forms in the manuals for you to use to help you with that process. And it's all laid out for you, how you can list the mentors and the mentees, when they started, and also there's partnerships set out as well in the process. Building the best mentoring relationships. And this is where we get down to the mentoring piece of how do we mentor. And that's always been the thing, is how do we do that? So it's build, establish, support, and transform. So build is you building an outstanding relationship, and it takes time. And there's forms to set up of whether we're doing face-to-face and when and how does that work, and understanding why you're in Toastmasters and what are you doing and what is it you want to accomplish. And it's really getting the clarity and understanding of where that person's at. Then we have establish, and it's answering questions. They may have many questions. What is this DTM, they may ask. And you need to say it's that Distinguished Toastmasters. It's the highest award that you can get in Toastmasters. And here's what's involved in it. And it's in the manuals, in your communication manual and your leadership manual. And you can go in the back of the book and it's all laid out. But we need to have that conversation so that they understand of what you're doing, how they get to a certain point, and what's involved. And they'll see manuals in there that fits their workplace or personal career of where they're at. And these are the things that you go through, and answering all those questions and track the progress. And there is a sheet of how to track their progress in the module, and all those forms are in there. And then support. Offer the support. Prepared speeches. Lots of times that's usually what it is they want to do that first speech, their icebreaker, and they're getting ready for it. What do? You take the time with them, and maybe it's a phone call, maybe it's face-to-face, or maybe the individual, you can say, write down a few of your thoughts that you want to do for a speech, and what is it that you want to focus on. Think about that, and let's talk about it. Let's see where it takes you and what more you can do. And lots of times they just want that input and feedback. We all want that feedback. It's huge. Evaluation is one of the most important things, I feel, in Toastmasters. You've got somebody telling you how well you're doing, but some things that you could improve on, and getting that feedback of how to change it or to improve it. The next piece is transform. This is in the beginning when you met and started building your relationship, you set a time limit. Maybe the time limit is 6 months. And so you set that 6 months and the date. And when that date comes up, and we'll say you set it in January, June is when you'll consider what the next step is. So when you come to that 6 months and that date, two of you sit down and you discuss again about how the 6 months went, what was accomplished, where you're at, and what's next for you. And maybe the relationship isn't going to be the two of you anymore. Maybe it's someone else. And that becomes that transforming. You have individuals transforming to other individuals that maybe the specialty that they're looking for is different now. And that, lots of times, it could have been that you started it and now you've got them going and they're now looking for a little more in another area. And there's someone that can be much more effective in that area. So that becomes, well, gosh, go out for chocolate, dessert, enjoy, celebrate that relationship, because without that beginning and then the courage to have, hey, I want to do more. I feel more confident now. You made a huge difference, mentor. And mentee, you appreciate that person for guiding you to this point and moving you forward. Now, Mentoring Plus. What is the Mentoring Plus? It is that place of, what do I mean by Mentoring Plus? Well, Mentoring Plus is about having individuals in teams. And the reason that we started teams was this. I heard over and over again many times about there's too many new members, which we all want, but not enough experienced mentors to keep it moving forward. And so that's where we went to Mentoring Plus and having that go to an individual, having that place of doing more. And here were the challenges as I was mentoring. Large numbers of new members to experienced members. And that is the point of where we needed to have a difference. And that's where the teams came into play. And the amount of time required to be a mentor. And the thing is, we're all very busy people and trying to get through, and make sure that we're doing a really good job for the individuals. People are in business, people have several jobs and everything, but they want to help. Everybody wants to help, but it all takes time. And how do we do that and be fair to everybody and ourselves as well? Concern is too much work. Well, yes, there is work to it, but at the same time, a lot of times that can be spread out. And I'll share those points of how you can do that and how, the experienced and the new members, and then when other new members join, everybody gets involved and everybody can participate and share in the mentoring process. And it does save time and it isn't as much work. Options. Form teams. This is the important part, is to form the teams. And once you form teams, you can, what it is forming the teams into individuals with experienced mentor, and you can have 3 or 4 on a team. Now that makes it interesting, and it can be a mixture of individuals. It can have a mixture of experienced and new members, and the new members are 2 to 3 months or more. And then new members. They're brand new, they just joined, and they can be part of that combination. So experienced, new members, and I'll call them newbies. And that can be your team. And then it's sharing the experiences. The new member can share with the newbies about their experience, and it's fresh. They've been only in the club for 2 or 3 months, and they know the challenges and the struggles and everything. The experience does, but the experience can focus a little bit more on the time spent with training and helping and bringing up those wisdom points that they have and sharing them with them. Time. Who has time today? It is so busy and there's been so many challenges, and how do we get that time? But you know, we all need mentors and we know it takes time, but it's supporting that brand new member in a different way. And how do I mean by different? Well, here's the process. You've members of 2 to 3 months. Those are the members, the mentors that can mentor your brand new people. They can provide some feedback on a speech. Maybe you can't be at the club, the experienced one can't be at the club, but that new member of 2 or 3 months can provide feedback at the speech when the new member gets up there and does it. And maybe also just guide the person and share that experience. Oh, when I did my first speech, I was so nervous, but I found out that I was going to be okay because I got through it. And you know what? I got great feedback and I got energized by the feedback that I got. And that sharing of that experience is so important. It makes a huge difference. Too much work. Distribute the work throughout the team. The experienced mentor focuses on the key points of elevating the skills and training of the members on the team. And what can happen here is that experienced member is role modeling when they're mentoring. And the new members that have been in the club 2 or 3 months or more, they're watching. And then they can help that newbie, that brand new person that starts the club. They saw how the experienced person did it. Show and tell always works. And that can be shared. And that person starts to do it. And this is something that we found when we formed teams in our club, was that it was a spin-off of when we were having those team meetings and you were sharing ideas and experiences and things that worked and things that didn't and how we got through them. Then the new members, 2 to 3 months, they were starting to pick up on this and they were starting to duplicate the process and helping that newbie. And you see, that saved the experienced person to try and looking after 3 or 4 members all at once, which can be very much time consuming. So the option is to distribute that work throughout, and then it makes it easier for everybody. And that process, again, the experienced mentor, just maybe focus on training, providing them tips, and then just saying, let the team decide, oh, you know what, Marion, you can help Yvonne. That may be something that they do, and they help each other. They're phoning back and forth and doing everything and helping each other. That way, it's starting to duplicate. And what's the outcome? I've said it. It duplicates. And that's the part that you want. You want more mentors learning what to do and how to do it. Does this work? Yes, it does. What are the results? Meeting once a month or establish agreed time. So it's meeting once a month, whether it's face-to-face, we do conference call, or it's meeting before club time and after club time. So all of that meeting time is determined what you're going to do. Next is strategize the responsibilities and supporting each other. And that again is helping each other out. I know for myself in business, there's times that I can't be at the club, but I can say to the team, who's going to help who and what's coming up for each other and how are you going to support each other. We have those conversations and those times and meetings so that when you're not there, they can do it and everything is working for everybody and everybody feels supported. Again, the new members, the 2 to 3 months, mentoring the new members. They can help them with how to do timing, how to do grammarian, whatever the roles are that they are. And that new member can help the newbies out, make a difference for them, and just sit beside them in the meeting and make a difference. And eventually, that newbie becomes that meeting mentor I mentioned earlier. New teams evolving over time. What I mean by that is this. The experience started the process, including the new members 2 to 3 months old and the newbies all together. Your new member, now in the club 6 months or more, has decided, I would just like to form my own team. Great idea. That means we're spreading the load even more and making a difference. They can lead. They can start getting the new members that are coming into her or his team and helping the newbies. That's how it works. It evolves and it keeps building and growing and it shares the load, saves the time. How to manage the challenges. Rise above your challenges with a team. How many of you talk teams and everything else? It takes a team to be a district leader. It's one, yes, you may be the district director, but everybody needs a team. You are on committees, you form a team. Well, Mentoring Now has teams, and you can pull this together. How to rise above your challenges is there's less imbalance of experienced and new members and newbies. It's forming the teams and you're all mixed in together. Time, new mentors are evolving, and that's what the ripple effect is. Now they're doing mentoring individuals for those first 3 speeches, and that's huge when you got that person doing that. And then the experience can continue doing the training. Too much work? Well, the experienced is now training others to do the same thing. And that spreads the load and has everybody working together, saving time, and being a team. How will you rise in your mentoring experience? This can be a guide for you, and these 3 questions will help you to get started. What is your main challenge to overcome in your club? Is it that you don't have enough mentors? You have a lot of newbies and new members and not enough experienced? Is that the one that you need to focus on? How do you build those teams and match up people's onto teams and putting that together? What idea will bring better results? And it's looking at all the options and the ideas and putting them together. You've got 4 modules to look at and seeing what can I implement, and implement maybe 1 or 2 things, but not a whole bunch at once. And then also think about your teams. Is this something that's going to work in your club? How will you implement the new idea? It's one where you can have the person that's initiating it is that we'll have a meeting, and that can be a speech and how we can do it. And you can say, I know it works because I've already heard that it works in putting these teams together. And I'm wondering if we could try it out and test it out. And if there's 3 experienced members, and what mixture can they put on their team of new members and newbies, and do the same thing and have those calls, and whether it's the meetings before or after the club meetings, those are the ideas. These are the questions to answer and put your mentoring into an experience. As I mentioned before, there's lots of people that have helped out with this whole process and putting this video together for you to hear about the mentoring process. I encourage you to get the modules, the 4 modules off the website, take them to your club, and start with one step at a time. And if Teams is the one that you really want to put into place, form your teams of experienced new members and the newbies and give it a whirl. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. If you have questions, and unfortunately I couldn't be there to answer your questions, but I'm more than happy to answer through an email if you wish to ask the questions. And I'll give you the small email, and it's Cooley, Cooley, @shaw.ca, and said, I listened to the video, I was present, and I have these questions, and I'd be more than happy. And if I can't answer it for you, I have a team of people that would be ready to step up and provide that answer for you. And I'm sure that Darlene and Nandini and Marvin and Bob and Peggy would be more than happy to provide that input to you and give you those answers. I encourage you to take time to get started and put your mentoring program in if you haven't. And if you have that program in, think about how your challenges are being met and try your team idea. I want to thank these 3 people. This presentation, all the PowerPoint, wouldn't have happened without these 3 people. Everybody put their input into it. Iris gave me the last minutes of the tweakings and things and added some different things to the modules and everything else to the slides. Marvin and Nandini were they helped me with all the process and putting it together because they were on the mentoring team and they understood it well and they could help me with it all, fine-tuning it. So I'm thankful for their help, and without them and without a team of people, this program wouldn't have happened. So thank you to District 99 and Dan and also Lorraine, who's been encouraging me behind the scenes as well to put this together. Go mentoring and have fun.